Well, hello and welcome back. I thought something that I was doing out here might be kind of a good thing to pass along if, you know, it's, what is it, March 3rd or 4th, whatever today is, beginning of March. And that means everyone's getting ready for their spring planting, all that good stuff. So, if you follow my channel, you know that I compost all my chicken manure and scraps and stuff. It's all rigged up for now, but this is where it starts. Then I turn it over a couple times in there, and then I move it over here. Eventually, I'm gonna have a nice 3-bay concrete system, cinder block system, but I'm not doing all that yet because I got some other things I got to do around here. But so this was a big pile. I've already sifted through a lot of it, but that's what I want to talk about. So at the beginning of the growing season, you know, if you compost your own, you know, to add to your flower beds and stuff like that, you know, get all those good nutrients, you know, you end up with a lot of roots, old roots, new roots, clay globs. Where I live in Virginia, it's just nothing but red clay, and this is stuff I don't really want in my gardening. It holds water, doesn't allow things to drain well and root growth to be good. So you gotta sift that stuff. Now, people make their own sifters. I kind of jerry-rigged one up this year, and I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. And I also have the problem with squirrels like to dig in my old soil from the year before and put, you know, acorns and everything else. Like, here's just a couple to show. I don't want those in there either, because then the squirrels come back and try to dig them up again if they can smell it in my potted plants and things like that. Drives me nuts. So I have a solution for that as well. But the first solution is to sift all this stuff out, get those acorns out, get those big sticks and big chunks of clay out. And what I've done is I have a dump cart. All right, it's one that hooks to a lawnmower. However, my lawnmower is broken, so I have actually attached these pieces of limb, well, actually they were sapling trees, whatever you want to call it, as handles. So it's basically a rickshaw. It's a dump cart, so it's my dump shaw is what I'm calling it, I think. Tires just there holding it in place, and so it's on this angle here, right? So I'm taking a scoop, setting it here, and kind of moving it around, trying to get some fine stuff. You can see all the finer stuff down there in the bottom, and then I sit there and I bounce it like this. And because I don't have a piece going across here, it allows us to move freely, and all the globs fall down to this little crevice I made. So I took a stick and I wrapped this tarp around it and then made a little pocket. So as you can see, all this is trash. This is all trash that I don't want in my soil. Look at that. You got roots, leaves, clay globs, all that stuff you don't want. And then at the end, you just grab it and sling it out, and it goes out on the ground. It's working perfect. So I'm gonna try to set y'all up so y'all can see this beast in action. All right, I don't know how good that shot's gonna be, but it'll give you the principle of the idea. Okay, so getting to the bottom of my pile here. So I take a scoop, then I take another scoop, right? And then, just for the way I have it set up, I gotta hold on to this side. Kind of spread it around lightly, because these big globs of clay, I don't want to grind those up and have them in my soil. I don't want these at all, so I want them to roll off. So, I don't know if you can see all those globs flying. Here, I'll bring you in for a close-up. So look, you got all these globs. See that? And everything that's left is little roots and globs of clay that are falling into the end down here. And that's it. Super easy. This is just, you know, 1/4-inch hardware cloth, some scrap pieces of wood I had, and I just did one along this side, one along the back to hold this supportive, one on the other side, and then, like I said, this one's free so it'll bounce. Some people make these a solid frame and sling the dirt really hard at it, and that works too. But this is what I threw together real quick. This is what's working for me so far. I do want to take y'all over and show you the finished product. So we're gonna go do that here in just a second, and you'll see what I'm talking about after it's all gone through. I mean, you could go finer than this 1/4 inch hardware cloth, but I didn't have any, and I'm not gonna do that. All right, I just took my contraption, just took my little contraption off. So that's all it is. And this is my finished product in the dump shaw here. Really nice, really, it did a really fine job. There's some, you know, some pieces of some stuff in here, little stuff, little piece of straw. I mean, nothing that's not going to break down and help with drainage anyway. Lots of really good nutrients in here. Lots of worm castings, chicken manure, rabbit manure, just household organic waste. You know, raw onions, tomatoes, lettuce, whatever. Mostly onions, eggshells, and things like that I don't give my chickens or my rabbits. Pretty much anything I can compost to them to help with the food bill and help with their health, I give them. Otherwise, it ends up in here. I don't put any cooked food in my compost because that attracts rats. So, you know, but this is what I'm left with here. All of this, you can see in that tire, all that junk. So, watch how much did not end up in here because I did this. Look at that. I'll just take this stick out. Now I've got good compost for the garden. Solid. Downside to living on a hill, but today was the gym day. Now I don't have to go to the gym. I'm doing something productive and I get a workout. Nothing better than that. What's he doing, buddy? Now you might be saying to yourself, Travis, if that's a dump cart, why did you just kick it over like that instead of using the dump feature? Well, I'm lazy sometimes. That's all I got. But so what we got here is, I would guesstimate a solid 200, maybe 250 pounds. I mean, it might be more than that worth of compost. I mean, it's every bit of 6 foot long by 2 foot wide by 1.5 foot, 2 foot tall. 1.5 foot probably. I'm no math man, but I know it's mathematician. But yeah, and that's all from, you know, all this goodness here is stuff that people just throw in their trash, or, you know, animal waste byproduct that can be turned into something useful and good. So I'm really happy with it. The only thing I dislike is you know, we do have some ants on the property, so I'm sure there's gonna be some ants in some of this, but we'll deal with that as it comes. I got some things for that, but I like to garden completely organically, so I'm not putting any pesticides on any of my stuff, nothing like that. But there's some natural things you can do. But yeah, all in all, I think it turned out really nice from going through just that 1/4 inch hardware cloth. Look at the kind of, you know, I mean, it's pretty good stuff. And it'll, you know, there are some larger pieces, not really anything too crazy. These are about the largest pieces in here. And I mean, that stuff's gonna be fine. I mean, most of it's breaking down really good, and it's gonna continue to do that. And it'll help hold some moisture and also help with a little bit of drainage at the same time. So I'm gonna mix in some of my old potting mix and things like that into this. And I got some peat moss there and some perlite. I'm gonna mix in some organic peat moss and perlite, all that good stuff, and see if we can't get a nice big old pile of soil going on here. Everybody say hi to Charles. Charles, say hi. Charles. Chuckita. Charles. See that? He's getting old, and he either can't hear me or he pretends he can't hear me. Charles. Hey buddy, can you hear me? I think he's just picking and choosing what he listens to. Anyway. I should note, if you've never done this before, it does work a lot better with really dry soil. Some of this that I'm taking out of these pots now from last year is pretty damp soil, so I'm having to run my hands over it a lot more than I would with the other stuff. But there's not much in these pots besides squirrels burying some nuts, so that's the main purpose in me going through these pots. So a way I could have alleviated that was storing these in the crawl space or something in the shed, I don't know, but they're heavy and I didn't feel like it. All right, my 2 loads of compost. I had about 3 loads worth of old potting soil out of about 22 5-gallon self-wicking tubs I made last year, and those were pretty good. I'm going to use them again this year until I get my permanent beds in. And then majority, 2/3 of a bag of peat moss, and then 2 smaller bags of perlite. And now I got some finished product. This is what we got. It's gonna be good stuff. So I think my ratio is pretty good. Everybody, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Stay safe.